from you guys because Cindy and I were late to the party. I graduated in '64, moved back to Moultrie in 2000. That's a long time gone. And so when I came back, I've got great friends, Bud Beatty, and I go back forever. And Bud says, I came back to start a bank, and did. He says, want to play a little golf on Saturday? And I said, well, that sounds good, Bud. He said, I play with a guy named Mike Carruthers. I don't think you've met him. He's a salesman for Riverside. I said, okay, I'm good. But the 5 years before I moved back, I was actually a national sales manager for the company that was a subsidiary of a bank. So sales was in our DNA. So I got two stories about Mike, one bad, one good. Because I'm the latest to the party, so y'all know a lot more about Mike than I do. But you know, when you meet somebody for the first time and you like them, that says a whole lot. You know, I got a great judge of character, I think. You either, I'm gonna tone this down a minute, you either jerk or you're a good guy. Mike was a good guy day one. Bud said, let's meet and play golf. I want you to meet somebody. So we go out. Oh, this is the bad story. I'm gonna save the good story for last. I now know why they invited me to go and play golf, because they could beat me every damn day. And I figured that out. I didn't play as much golf as they did, and Mike was a dadgum good golfer, and Bud Beatty never makes a mistake. And so they invited somebody out that they knew they could hammer every time. But you know what? I loved it. I loved meeting Mike. He and I bonded day one. Now let's fast forward. I quit. They beat me too much. Actually, I beat them every now and then, but it didn't happen very often. I could outdrive them all, but then you had to hit again. That was always a problem. But years go by, and we enjoyed that. Mike, Riverside stops, and things change, and everybody has to settle again. And Mike was starting to have some health issues, but he's starting to have more depression issues, I guess is the best way to say it. And Betty calls me one day and she said, Bob, could you possibly take Mike to lunch and figure out maybe how we can lift his spirits? I said, I'd be glad to, but I don't know how, but we'll go talk about that. So Mike and I go out to lunch, and I was concerned about him because he really was not the exciting, the vivacious sales guy that he was. And so we sat at the dinner table, and I said, Mike, what can I do as a friend to kind of help you make things better? He said, I don't know. He said, I tell you what I'd like. I'd like to have a group of good friends who meet weekly to have a drink for a short period of time, and that would make me, I would feel good about that. And I said, okay, I'll handle that. You want to give me a list of names to start? He said, yeah, I will. I said, okay, I'll give you my list of names. And I thought, I don't know where to go with this, but I started looking around, and I called Caraviola at the Square, and I said, you got a bar back there that's kind of private. I said, do you do any business between 5 and 6? She said, no, really not. I said, okay, I got a deal for you. If we can bring some people in there from 5 to 6 that would help your business, that would help us. And she said, if you'll do that, we'll give you a 25% discount on drinks. And by the way, y'all are invited. It's not a club. So we started that little deal. Mike was feeling pretty good about it. We would go down there on a Thursday. Oh, well, by the way, we call it the 501 board meeting. There's a real good reason for that. 501 because it didn't open till 5. Board meeting because that sounded better than beer drink. You could always tell your wife, honey, I got a board meeting. So we started that, and that was really a good thing, and quite frankly, we're 3 years down the road, Betty.
At least,
And we have an average of 14 to 16 guys come every single Thursday. They can't wait to get there. It's 5 to 6, okay? Now, that was for Mike. Mike loved it. We started it. His health continued to decline. He got to where he couldn't come. But we decided everything was in his honor because that was his thing. So we Zoomed some, you ever tried beer drinking with Zoom? It worked. So he would be sitting in the chair right here and he would participate when he couldn't come. And so it kind of ratcheted down, but then last December, we had a 501 board meeting, Christmas party where we actually invited the wives. And we had 35 people show up, and we filmed it and we sent it to Mike in his honor. And we all toasted Mike in his honor. Well, the thing about me, I bonded with Mike in the very beginning, thanks to Bud. And I would go see him, and I'd sit and I'd talk to him in the nursing home, and I'd come over here and meet with him and talk to him and whatnot. I could see things changing that depressed me. And then he died. And I was there before he died at the hospital with Betty to help make the decision. And so after that was over with, and time goes by, Betty calls me and she says, I have some clothes of mine. And what size are you? And I told her, and she said, well, he's got some shirts that are that size. And I said, what are they? And she said, Brooks Brothers. I said, I'm on my way. I don't know if y'all own many Brooks Brothers. You gotta run if you're gonna get them. This is still in the plastic. Well, I love Mike. I miss him. We talk about him at the 501 group many times because he was who helped start that group. And I'm wearing his shirt. So, just want to tell you I love Mike. And Betty, thank you.